Hey everyone, it's Sarica and welcome back to the studio. Today I'm going to flip through my entire 2018 Hobonichi. Don't worry, I won't talk about every single page. Instead, I wanted to chat about my experience using the Hobonichi as a journal. In the beginning of the year, I set a goal to do one page every day, filling up this little A6 book with memories and photos and writing. This was my first Hobonichi ever. I remember being so intrigued by the tiny grid size and the special smooth paper and the cute covers. This bright yellow and jade green cover is the 2017 version that my cousin got for me as a gift. I really do love this little journal. The paper is almost magical in the way that it's so thin, yet works surprisingly well with watercolors and fountain pen inks. I did have trouble adjusting to the longer drying times for ink, so many of my first pages were smudged. I learned that I had to leave the book open for a while to let everything dry before I closed it, and that was a bit frustrating. I started off so strong in the beginning, and as I looked back on those cold first months of the year, I noticed that I would try my hardest to make up for skipped pages. For example, when I got really sick, I didn't journal, but I would go back and write about my sickness when I got better. I treated the predated pages as a reminder to journal every single day, so leaving blank pages made me feel a lot of pressure to fill them up. However, that stubborn sentiment did not last, and toward the end of the year, I accepted the fact that some days will just be too busy for journaling, and making up pages would become a burden. On the other hand, some days I didn't skip pages, but I would feel the need for even more space, specifically on days like weddings, birthdays, traveling, and even the weekends. I feel like my journaling needs fluctuate throughout the week. I tend to write less on the weekdays because it's just me going about my work having the same routine day to day. But on those special days, I have so many more highlights that I want to preserve. That sort of makes me a little sad that I tend to live for the weekends and special days, but that's just the way it is. I still enjoy the weekdays very much, and I do more free writing and brainstorming on those days rather than memory keeping. It was times like those that made me really miss having an undated journal, so I started to reach for my other notebooks more and more. This year, I started a new ritual of reviewing my month and writing down positive affirmations. Each month, I'd write down a list of all the things I'd accomplished and wanted to pat myself on the back for. I kept them in a little envelope on the last page of every month. I tend to be very hard on myself. I always want to push myself to work harder and improve my skills. But I noticed that the way I was challenging myself was starting to become detrimental and toxic. I started to actively work against negativity and intrusive thoughts by being deliberately positive. My goal was to encourage improvement in a loving and positive way, in the way that I would treat a friend. I'm going to continue this tradition in my next journal for sure. The last quarter of the year became very busy. My best friend got married, several of my friends and family members had children, and my husband and I had a wedding as well. It was so wonderful but so hectic, and there was a lot of travel involved. My small online shop had also started to gain more traction, so in between traveling, I was working overtime trying to manage it all. With all that was going on, I was so tired but so happy. I managed to record most of it in my journal until November. That's when I really started to neglect this little journal. I didn't even put a photo of our new baby niece or photos from Thanksgiving. It became very difficult to write on the left side of the page because of all the things I like to paste in here. It doesn't lay flat at all anymore, so my hand would hover quite awkwardly when I wrote on the left side. That deterred me from wanting to journal in here as well. At this point, I know that I won't be reaching for it for the rest of the year, since I've pretty much been using my other notebooks as a planner and a journal. Even though I didn't fill up all the pages in November and December, I really love this little book. I'll keep this chunky journal with all my other completed journals, and it will be such a joy to look back on most of my memories from 2018. It was a great experience trying a new notebook, but I am very excited to move back into my trusty traveler's notebook with undated inserts for next year. And that is pretty much it for what I think about the Hobonichi as a journal. Overall, I think the quality of these little books are just fabulous, and I'm so glad I tried it for this year. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Hobonichi as a journal or a planner. Does the format work for you? Will you be journaling in 2019? So the flip through does go on for quite some time, and I'm just going to turn up the music and let it play out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Does it get easier?
No. Yes. It gets easier. The more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you.
I just don't know what I'm supposed to be.
You'll figure that out.